Alright guys, this is the first episode of Mighty Brad's podcast, and I got my buddy Rudy here.
What up, Brad?
Rudy makes some music. So, Rudy, you got a new single coming out, right?
Yeah. So I go by the name Rudy Rhymes. I have a new single coming out. It's called Independent Woman. It's about all the independent women around the world. Just kind of it's kind of just like an anthem for women, just for those who, just for them to know that they don't need anybody else. They're good enough on their own, and that just kind of just paying homage to them and just giving them respect.
Right. So what inspired you to make that?
I would say what inspired me was I'm really close with my mother, and in my previous relationship I was dating I would say, yeah, she was a feminist. And I didn't really understand a lot of women culture, feminine culture. I didn't really understand. I knew the glass ceiling effect and stuff like that, and a lot of the sayings about it's a man's world, but I didn't really understand fully. And she kind of opened my eyes to that and made me realize a lot about just beauty standards, workforce environment, just a lot of the things that you see on social media, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, no, I mean I get that. There's a lot. I mean, it's for men and women both, but primarily women. I mean, they're so pressured nowadays, especially right when they hit their teenage years, to wear all this makeup, go out all the time, do all these things, and so I mean, it's not necessarily an unrealistic standard, but it's a standard that not everybody is gonna want to do, but they're pressured into feeling like they have to.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, and it sucks because it's also a lot of it stems to fashion, and there's also the fashion industry and Hollywood, and you see all these big Netflix shows, almost 9 times out of 10 in all these shows, all these main actresses, they all have on makeup. Even the men have all have makeup on. Cosmetics, it's all about beauty, and when you're appealing to the mass audience, you need to make sure everything looks right, and it's sad, but it's what really beauty is it's on the inside, it's not on the outside,
Exactly.
You could just dress however you like, you know what I mean, and that should be good enough, not oh, I gotta go get this done and this done and this done, and just so that I could appeal to society.
Well, and the way you dress is such a, it's, to me, it's it's an expression of what you like, because you might see someone that wears something that you'll see most other people wear, and you'll see someone wear something that's really colorful, so just some different style that you don't see often, and that's a way of them expressing themselves without actually having to tell you anything.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like actions tell more than words, but it's just the look. But again, with those beauty standards, and I feel like Hollywood, when they put on the makeup and stuff, that's their definition of what they want us to believe is perfect. But in reality, like you said, beauty comes on the inside, not the outside.
Yeah. And I mean, we are becoming more aware of it, which is good. A lot of social media is good and bad, but it is also doing a thing where it is good in terms of we're learning a lot, and women are able to, not even women, but we're all able to gather, organize more, and find our niches on these platforms, and find our support channels, which is really good. So we're making progress there, but, there's still kind of a lot to be paved. But the most important thing is that I really do feel like it's improving, compared to the past.
Yeah, I mean, the internet and the phones and everything, it's done a lot of bad things, but it's done a lot of good. So many of us are more addicted than ever.
Yeah.
We're more rooted in our technology than in real life. But at the same time, the technology gives you, like you just said, to find your nation, to find your platform, and find your people online. You might be into something, anything. You're into anything, and you haven't met people in real life that are into that. But you can go online, you can find people that are into
it, yeah.
So, all right, so moving on a little bit, what inspired you to make music?
Yeah, so when I was at an early age, when I was in when I was in middle school, that was kind of when I found out that my dad used to be a DJ. He was he wasn't super big, but he was a pretty common DJ in New York, on the scene, and he was just doing different clubs and stuff like that. And then I used to see his equipment in the basement, and I just thought it was so cool, And then I started out how in history class you would have those extra credit projects where you like take a song and change the lyrics to like fit the history topic. It started out like that, and then I realized like this was really cool, and I started imagining like just music videos of myself writing, even though it's about like history or whatever. It's like I thought of these videos already with my friends, and we're singing these lyrics.
Yeah.
And then as I gotten older, I started getting more into music, and I just started to realize that no matter how like low I got in life, or how depressed, or maybe just a really low point in life, it's like music was always there. It's like I always found myself going towards this specific thing, always to help me feel better, and it always did. So, you know, as I gotten older, I realized like this is who I am. You know, it was always calling for me, and it was always there with me, and like this is what I just want to be.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel that music does that for a lot of people. That it's an escape, but it's also a creative outlet, especially for someone like you. You know, I'm a drummer, so I'm big into music too.
Yeah.
So like, you know, if I'm feeling bad or angry or whatever, I can just go on the drums and just express that in a healthy way. And I mean, what I love about like rap and like what you do and stuff is, it's like, to me, it's not a talent of mine. So looking at someone like you, just putting all the different words together and rhyming and all this stuff, it's just like, that's so creative to me. Yeah. And it's just, not many people can do it. Like, I see a lot of people like hate on small artists, and they're like, oh, he's shit, he's not even good. But then like I look at them and I'm like, can you even do that? And then they can't. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like a lot of, especially in like hip hop rappers, like you're saying, independent artists, this kind of goes for all genres. It's like everybody just freaking hates on you until you start to blow up. And I was in the studio one day, and the engineer said that, his name is Poochie, so shout out Poochie, but he said this really like intellectual thing that I thought about, and I was like, oh shit, you're right. Your best fans, like your deepest fans, your biggest fans, are going to be the people that you don't even know. The people that just watch your podcast, that stumble upon it, that are just, it was in their algorithm, and they just click with you.
Right.
The people out here that we know, that we grow up with, they knew us when we were really young and before we got into this passion. So it's like they always just label you as that. They don't see you're an artist, you know. But when you start to get traction and start to get following, then people want to say, oh, I remember hanging out with him in lunch, and I remember like being his friend. And yeah, you know, it's just the words and stuff, the rhymes, like, yeah, it's just, you know, it's just expression, like what you're saying, you know, like with the drums, it's like, and it's about vulnerability. How vulnerable are you going to get? Like if you're playing the drums, how hard are you going to smash, you know, that cymbal, or how hard are you going to hit the hi-hat or the snare? Like, are you going to hit it lightly, or are you just going to freaking smash that thing? You know, like that's what it's about too.
Yeah.
You know?
And, you know, and with different things that you rap about and what you sing about, everything. And it's, I see a lot of, I mean, I don't know these big rappers personally, but some of these guys, it seems like they're not preaching what they actually do with their lives. But with someone like you, when I hear your music and then, you know, I see you in real life, it's like this guy's being expressive. He's being authentic.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of rappers and a lot of big celebrities and everything are willing to be unauthentic, just so that they can get more clout or more see more and stuff like that. But, you know, I mean, I think it's important in life to just, I mean, with music and with everything, just to be authentic, because nobody's really going to know the real you. And if you're a rapper and preaching all this stuff that you don't do, or talking about all this stuff that you don't actually believe in, you're building a fan base, and then if they eventually find out that you're not that, then you're losing all those people. And they weren't real in the first place, because it's not what you believe.
And the only one you're harming when you're faking yourself is yourself. Because, like, that's going to eat at you every single day. You know, you see a lot of these artists that, like what you said, you got the ball in the park. Like, you see a lot of these rappers, even pop stars, they're portraying this persona that they're not. And they're spreading this agenda that is completely just negative. A lot of rap music is very negative. Yeah. It's especially mainstream. It's very negative, demeaning. It's brainwashing, you know, and it's just sad to see. And when you get an authentic person like you or myself, people hate on that because they're like, oh, this doesn't sound cool. This doesn't have a ring to it. You know, I can't party to positivity. I only could party to negativity. It's like, you know, it's so stupid, dude. Right. It's so stupid when you really think about it, you know?
And, you know, you're really, like you just said, the only person you're really harming is yourself, because you got to wake up every day and be somebody that you're not. And then, you know, I guarantee if you do that for enough time, eventually you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be like, shit, I just, like, wasted my life.
Yeah, dude.
Wasted everything.
Yeah, it's really sad, and I think that's why, you know, a lot of, you know, I feel like that also plays a part into why a lot of these celebrities start to just get into all these bad addictions, you know, and all these bad habits. You know, it's because they have to escape from this false reality that you're living in. And, or, you know, you could be just tied into something so deep. Like, it's just really sad, you know. That's why you always got to just remember at the end of the day that you're doing this for that specific reason. Like, I do music to help other people, you know, and there's, like, Kanye said this really cool thing. The biggest regret Kanye West has is he'll never be able to hear himself like the way you hear me right now. Like, you know, when you talk, you hear your voice, but you don't really hear your voice like the way I hear it. Exactly. And I never will able to hear my voice the way you hear it. Right. But, you know, just being yourself and, like, just being genuine is all that really matters. And if you don't feel comfortable about a situation or a work environment, or, like, if you're in a music contract or a movie contract and, you know, you feel like it's starting to take away from you, take a break. You know, you got to retire. You got to step out. Like, you know, a lot of people also, we're going to get into this later, but, you know, a lot of people don't take breaks enough. Yeah. You know, but, yeah.
Yeah, so what was your childhood like? Did it affect your music career at all, or just life in general?
Yeah, no, it did. So when I was a child, you know, I had a good family, stuff like that. It was, like, a really good family, but, I suffered from just, like, a lot of just, like, trauma when I was, like, young, like 11. And it's still kind of, it's still stuck with me now to this day. And it was, you know, it was a traumatic experience where I didn't know what I was doing in the moment until, you know, I took a step back and a couple years went by, and then I realized, oh shit, like, I suffered from trauma. But when I was going through the experience, I was just, you know, like, when we were young, we would just do dumb shit. You know, we wouldn't know our consequences until later. Yeah. And then, it was one of those experiences, and it kind of stuck with me. And in my music now, you know, I'm kind of getting more open to that and more vulnerable to that. But, I mainly had a good childhood, though. You know, played soccer. I played soccer, and, I went to school like all of us did, but I just played soccer, hung out with friends, you know, but definitely, like, you know, it's weird. It's like, you ever look at a picture of yourself when you were like a baby, and you see yourself as a baby smiling, and then you think to yourself, am I living his best life? Like, would he, like, I know he's like a young kid, but it's like, am I making him happy? Right. Because when you were so young, we were always so happy. Yeah. You know, like, you ever do that sometimes? Yeah, dude, like, sometimes I'd be doing that, and, like, I look and I'm like, I was just so positive back then, and then it's like, you know, am I living up to his potential? Like, you know, I feel like it's like an illness, like, when we always feel like we're not doing enough. Right. No, I mean, yeah, I remember when I was really young, I mean, you know, we were all dreamers. Like, we all had the biggest dreams, and then when you're young, you're told you can do anything you want, but then you reach a certain age, and then they tell you that's impossible. Yeah. Which I think is pretty messed up. Yeah. But we're so creative as children, then once we go through school enough, most people are just like everyone else, and many of us are alienated to what's real and just think similarly. For so many things, when we could be more creative, I think. Yeah, we could be. You know, I think it's so, we fall into this, like, system of, like, thinking. Yeah. Like, just boom, boom. Like, we're like this when we're young. It's, all of our ideas are like this, but then we go to school, and then it becomes like this, or this, or this, and that's it. Yeah. You know, like, I don't know, like, they say, this is another Kanye thing. You know, Kanye's crazy, but at the same time, sometimes he makes great points. Right. He was saying that the problem with school systems, too, is everything, you have to think about everything in shapes. And he was saying classrooms, how they're all squares. They make you just think like robots. He was saying, what if classrooms were redesigned where it was like a circle or a big, like an oval type of experience, like where you're in a classroom, but it's like, you know, like in a circle type shape. How that could change even just the way you're thinking about things, because everything is just more open and fluid, and not so we sit in a box and we sit on the chair and we look at a chalkboard and above us is just the lights beaming down on our head. Yeah. You know, it's like, I feel like it also like fries your brain.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
100%.
Yeah, dude. Like, I remember going to school sometimes, dude, and I feel like my creativity was just getting blown out the window, dude.
Almost every day of high school, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Yeah,
I'm thinking, what am I going to do when I go home today that's creative and that can be productive and help me get somewhere in life? Because, you know, of course, if you're doing something with a degree and stuff, you have to pass high school and blah, 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 and stuff like that. But nothing in high school is actually teaching you anything.
Yeah, not really. Besides, like, math, I guess.
but there's some basic stuff, but some other stuff is just there.
It's actually good that, because we'll touch on the topic again when we get to the other questions. But yeah, like, there was even certain stuff that we're not even taught in high school that we should know. That we should know, but they don't even put it in the curriculum.
Yeah.
You know, that... Like, they don't freaking teach us about anxiety and, like, depression and, like, mental health. They don't even teach you about that.
Right.
You know, and there's kids that are going home, like, cutting their wrists and shit, and, like, they're sad, and high school, the way high school is, it's like, oh, if you got a problem and you're doing that to your wrist, you get made fun of, and, like, there's something wrong with you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way it's, like, the atmosphere is in high school. It's like, there's something wrong with you, dude. Like, you're an outcast, and like,
you're weird.
You're weird. Yeah, you're weird for being sad.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just yeah, dude. It's just such bullshit.
And then I also think there's so many people in high school that are trying to be someone they're not, and there's people who are saying to those people like, oh, you're weird for feeling sad, blah blah blah. But those, deep down, they actually feel that too.
Yeah.
But
dude,
they're using that as a cover up to try and make themselves feel better.
Yeah, man.
And you know, I used to suffer from like clinical depression. I used to be on meds and stuff.
Yeah.
And what I always used to tell, and I remember going to like health class and stuff, and them spending one class period on like mental health as a whole. Like they have one slide with the definition of anxiety and the definition of depression, and then it's just moved on. And it's just like, there's so many different mental health issues nowadays, and it's not touched upon at all. Because, and even when they put up that one definition, like that one definition isn't the same thing for every person.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. And it's just like, yeah, bro, mental health is like, there's so many different areas. You can't put it in a slideshow. Right. Like we were saying, trauma, that's a whole different mental health thing. Identity crisis, that's a whole different other thing. Yeah. Like anxiety that's kind of related to all of them. But yeah, it's like, you can't, that's just like a disgrace to mental health, if anything, really? Dude. Freaking a slideshow and one period on it. Like, what the hell? Yeah. How you expect kids to learn that? It should be a whole subject.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro. It's like, yeah, dude. But, I mean, hopefully social media is opening their eyes a lot to this. So hopefully, school systems will change soon. Yeah, but that thing is just so sad, dude. Yeah. Like, I remember there was a kid. I think when I was a senior, you were a freshman, right?
Yeah.
Dude, there was a kid, I think it was when I was a sophomore or a junior, but there was a kid that went to our high school that committed suicide.
I heard about that.
Yeah, dude, and it was like he was one of those kids that not everybody talked to, and I knew him from seeing him, but I never really communicated with him. And then when I just heard about that, I was just like, wow, like, it just makes you feel weird. It's like, what if... We can't help but try to help people, but it's like, what if we were a bit friendlier in high school to this person, Maybe we could have helped him. And there was even students in our high school, dude, that just drug addictions, dude, like, people just being brainwashed, bro, by the music, being brainwashed by the media to party, do all these drugs. Like, that's why we got to change this shit, dude. It's like, it's just sad, dude. It's really sad, and just, yeah.
Yeah, and the norm, especially in high school and in college, I mean, it's just go out and party and have fun. But, you know, it's just, you know, I feel like, I mean, I'm not a huge party guy. I don't know about you. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if people want to go out and party sometimes, like, you know, I think it's, like, it's cool. It's whatever. You do your thing. But the people that do it every single day, every single weekend, bro, getting blackout drunk all the time, it's, I think to myself, and I've actually asked someone, you know, I'm like, are you doing this for fun? Or are you doing this because you're really stressed out in life and like you're suffering from like trauma and stuff like that? And they're like, yeah, I mean, like I literally just do this because I'm like stressed out all the time. It's the only thing that gives me relief. And I'm like, that's not healthy. And nobody is telling you that that's not. Nobody's telling you that.
Everybody's fake as shit.
Everyone's like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like it's fine to do that.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Like, you see, like that's smart of you to like. Yeah, because it's like, when you really, I mean, certain people do it for fun, but it's like what you said, a lot of it's an outlet. And like that whole party environment, you're not even making genuine relationships.
Right.
Because it's like everybody is talking to each other when we're all just trashed. So if we're all trashed and we're not going to remember tomorrow, how is our interaction meaningful? It's not. It doesn't even mean anything. Like, you go to the next party, like, I'm even a victim of this. Like, not even a victim, but I freaking do this. Like, so they have, you know, we're at the shore, we're in Jersey, so you probably heard of all the Jersey Shore bars, you know, or like a lot of them you heard of, right? So they have this one bar, basically, where they have this amazing special. Thousands of people come. You wait online to get into this bar. Everybody gets drunk. Everybody. I can't tell you how many times that I get like a girl's name or a guy's name and I just forget. Like the next day I wake up and I'm like, shit, like who is this person on my Instagram? I don't even know. Like I remember like meeting you, but I'm sure we met at that bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's like if you're doing this consistently, you're hiding something, you know, and it's like, yeah, man. But the most important thing is realizing. That's like your first step.
Yeah, exactly. That's for everything.
Like you may have inspired that person now to be like, yo, like, oh shit, maybe I should like start getting into exercise or like do meditation or yoga, like do something different, you know, not just drinking. Yeah, dude, it's very, everything is good in moderation.
Yeah,
you know.
Agreed.
Yeah.
You know, my friend and I were we're big into like talking about all this stuff that we're talking about now, and we were sitting at the party. Everyone else is like hammered. We're just chilling, talking to a few people, whatever. And he looks over at me, and we were thinking the exact same thing. And he looks at me, he's like, "Is this really what people do all the time for fun for 4 years straight in college?" And I'm like, "Shit, man, it can't be."
Yeah,
me.
Dude,
it can't be me. You know, I go out and like you just said before, like it's kind of an illness to like feel like you need to be doing something all the time. Like it's hard for me to let loose sometimes. And just have fun, because I always feel like I need to be doing something productive. But at the end, you know, it's productive where it's helping myself get to a better place. But at the same time, when I'm out sometimes, it's like I can't enjoy myself because I'm like, shit, I should be doing this now. But I don't really need to do that.
like you're out with your friends and you're like, but what if I was taking this amount of hours and focusing on my passion and my dream? Yeah, like that's really, for your age, like that's really good that you noticed that. Because for me, like that, I didn't notice that till like last year or 2 years ago. Actually, like last year. But yeah, when you get to college, it's gonna be the same thing. Like partying on Thursday, Friday, and you'll see like there's bars on Tuesdays that have things, and like if you're bored, man, I guarantee you there's gonna be at least like 4 days a week where people are just partying and like. I'm sorry, wait, you have a tissue? I'm gonna like. Can I grab that?
Yeah.
Let's take a little. Shit, this is all content.
Yeah, bro.
This is all content. Okay, my bad. My nose.
We'll have the company sponsor.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to say the name of the I don't know. Yeah. But you want?
Nah, we're chilling.
Okay. Yeah. Word. Yeah, dude, it's like another problem though with it, and we're both at fault here. Guys and girls, we love to drink. It's in our staple of thousands of years back where alcohol was, was a thing. People were drinking wine in Jesus Christ era, you know what I mean? So it's like, for a lot of guys and for girls, it's like the whole thing of going out and getting drunk, and then you're hooking up with people. Maybe this is the night where you lose it. It's like, it's such a common thing. But if you're more like a sober guy, or like that's not your thing, like if bars aren't your thing, I feel like sometimes it's harder for you to interact with a random girl that you meet.
Yeah.
It's hard because it's like, it's just not a thing. Like, we don't think about, when you think about a bar, you think about, I'm meeting people, I'm meeting women, like I'm going to interact. But then when you erase the bar, now think about another spot where you're going to meet women and you're going to interact and like, you know what I mean? It's like, we don't really have that, I feel like. That's the problem. Like, we need more things like that, like community things.
And at the same time, it's like, most guys, like, aren't even... Like, most guys, like, in the club and stuff, like, they're just going because they want to get some and stuff like that. They're not trying to build, like, they're not trying to meet people and build something and shit like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we, like, that stuff is, like, it's not that common. I mean, sure, if, like, for, like, business and stuff like that, they have those settings, but for, like, people who aren't, like, in a specific niche or something like that, it's, like, it's the bar and the club, that's the place that people go.
That's the place to get it in, yeah. And then besides that, it's like, all right, back to the books and just minding my own business.
Right.
And, yeah, and that's another thing too. It's like, people are so stuck up in society, in the public. But then when you go to these bars or these parties, then people are like, all right, let's actually be ourselves, quote unquote be ourselves, and like, let's just interact now. But when we're outside in public, everybody's on the phones, everybody's looking away from each other. It's like some weird stuff, dude.
It's like these social norms and stuff, and it's people don't want to feel like they can express themselves unless they're like intoxicated or high or something. Yeah, and people are just it's just people. It's like I look at it when I see like a bunch of crazy people at a party. It's like this is what they're feeling, but they're holding inside when they're sitting down in school in that desk.
Yeah, like how they really feel.
And then they're expressing themselves once they feel like they can.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, people rely, and then the problem is people start to rely on that as a crutch. Yeah. As, like, a way of, like, just getting what they want. That they have to be, like, that, under that condition, like, just lit, and like, and if there's people out there that do, always go out a lot, just know, at the end of the day, make sure you're good first before you go out and try to meet people, what I mean? Like, it's just, you're gonna end up in the long run just really hurting yourself, know, and like, there was this YouTube video I saw, and it was called First Call. And it was a documentary about videos of people who got to the bar right when it opens at different bars in the country, and like interviewing them and what they sang and stuff like that. And it was just interesting to read just like the comments. I'm always reading comments on it on YouTube, but reading the comments of people who their dad like used to do that, or their parents, and it's like they would talk about how this kid's dad had the dad would have these amazing stories that he told his son when the dad was younger. And then as the dad got older, he still kept going to that bar with his bar friends, and then slowly but surely, like, the parents divorced, and the guy kept going to that bar, talking to his bar friends, and then he died of alcohol poisoning, and the guy died at like 50-something years old, and it goes to show you that those relationships that you make are not real friendships. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like on this level when you could be meeting people on this level. Yeah. And like, I want to meet people, and I enjoy having deep conversations with people. But there's so many people I meet where like
they're weird too. They can't even do it though.
It's not in their, and it's like not in it's not in their mind. Like, I'll bring something up and they're just like,
Yeah, like the one-word answer, because they just don't know. They haven't done that yet.
Yeah, and it's okay. Like, it's not like I'm shitting on people who don't have, like, the experience to talk about the certain topic. That's fine. But there's just so many people. There's so many people that aren't even open to it. And like you just said, they think it's weird. Like, you bring up some deep conversation, some topic, and they're just like, what?
Yeah.
What, bro? What? Like, to me, like, that's the stuff I enjoy. And, I have people in my life now. Like, I have people that are able to have those conversations, and so that I'm really grateful for.
Yeah.
And so since I'm moving to college now, I'm hoping that I can meet more people that are like that.
Yeah, you will. You definitely will. Yeah. Yeah, and it's also as you get older, you're gonna realize too, you're gonna get more in touch with like your roots and stuff like that, and like more of just like your identity and like your norms and social norms and just the way the world really works, and it's like there's a lot of people now, like I know people now who are just still a little bit brainwashed in terms of they're not just in touch with their roots and they don't understand who they really are yet, and that's totally fine. That just comes with experience in life,
right.
But
so I want to touch on relationships just a tiny bit. So I don't know how many relationships you've had and how many, but what has been the takeaway so far? Whether you ended the relationship or they ended the relationship, what have you learned about relationships in general and about yourself from being in them?
Yeah, so I've learned... I was only in 2 relationships in my life, I would say 2 legit relationships. I learned that if you're not with somebody who makes you grow, or with somebody who... If you feel like you have to change yourself a bit for them, that's not really a good direction to go. It's not really a good relationship. Or if you're in a relationship where you're leaning on something that's holding you two together, that's not really love. My first relationship that I was in, it was a good relationship, but I just didn't really feel compatible with the person, and I just didn't feel comfortable because there was some just like materialism involved in it, and I just felt like I couldn't relate. Like, I'm from a lower middle class family, and I was dating somebody who was upper middle class, borderline just rich, and I never really felt comfortable because I'm not used to all that stuff, so it just felt really weird. And then in my second relationship, it's like I felt like I always feel like it was just like kind of the timing was just off with things and the whole scenario of the COVID pandemic, and it was just crazy, everything that happened. So we ended up not working out, but at the same time, I learned so much from it. So like I would say, when it comes to a relationship, date somebody that you feel, if you really love the person, you don't have to have sex with the person yet. You guys can wait, because the more you wait, the more you're like understanding their beauty more. It's kind of like, you don't want to, if you have a product, right? Let's say you buy something on Amazon, you get it 1 week shipping, right? You're going to be thinking for 1 week, I can't wait till I get this. I can't wait till I get this. And then when you get it, you're going to be so excited. But if you get next day shipping, you're going to be like, what? It's coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's whatever.
Right.
So I would say when you're going, like, date somebody that's going to kind of make you grow, and that you got to feel comfortable too. They got to be able to accept all your vulnerabilities and all your insecurities, and vice versa. And then once you guys do that, then you'll be able to grow together.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to be with someone who holds you back, and you don't want to meet someone who, like, you tell them about your passion and everything, and then they're just like...
Yeah, like, whatever. Yeah.
It's because, I mean, then they're not the right person for you, because they're not going to help you get to where you want to be. I mean, a part of a relationship, I think they should be helping you get where you want to go, and you should be helping them get where they want to go.
Yeah.
And depending on what that is, it's not going to be like, you have to do everything for me or you have to do everything for me, but it's like, here and there you can help me do this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's, you pretty much know, that's good. Like, that's kind of it, and just not being afraid, like what you said, to be yourself. Like, you shouldn't ever also change the wording of the way you talk when you're with them, that was one thing too that I realized that I was doing. Sometimes it's like when I would talk to this person, I would kind of change the way I talk a bit for them, and then I realized like that's taken away from myself.
I think I've done that before too.
You know, yeah, like you're taking away from yourself,
right.
kind of. You know, and yeah, just kind of small things like that, and obviously you can't always be paying for the bill all the time. Like in the beginning, you know, it's good to pay. You know what I mean? You take that person out, but you can't be doing that all the time. You know, because then it's just becoming a reward system for that other person. Like, oh, if I act good and then treat him right, then he's going to treat me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and I think there's so many things that aren't communicated in relationships. Like, people get... And I remember, I know my first relationship, you know, we went in and neither of us... I think it's really important before you get into the relationship, tell each other your expectations and what you want and what you don't want. Because when we first got into the relationship, neither of us told each other. So, you know, I was left with things that I wanted to do that she wasn't with that, and then she was doing things that I wasn't with, and it's like, we didn't know that before we got into the relationship. So then at that point, it's like,
Yeah, it's like, you know, that's how you go on a rocky road where it's like you guys hold on to each other because you just don't know what's in store.
Right.
So you're holding on to something, but it's not really, it's just not compatible yet. You know, it's just like this, and it's not like stagnant like that. Yeah, I feel that, dude. Yeah.
And then, you know, and during that relationship, you know, I like at a point I felt like damn, why doesn't she want to do this? Why doesn't she want to go on around with me? Why doesn't she want to do this? But then I realized, like, I can't blame her for that. That's just not her thing. And
like, that's not her lifestyle.
I never told her that. I never told her before the relationship that's what I want to do. So I was let down by my own expectation, but I never communicated with her, so that's my fault, not hers.
Yeah. But going forward, now you know that. You know,
right.
And
all that stuff teaches you that stuff, being in those experiences.
I think you definitely got to be friends with a person first before you date them. You know, because you want to get to know them. You know, like, because you'll have friends that obviously that you're attracted to, but when you get to know them, it's like...
It's different, though.
Yeah, it's different. Like, I can't see myself being in a relationship with you because it's just, we're not compatible when it comes to this and that. Yeah.
Plus, I mean, you know, on my, the old podcast that I had with my buddy, Life with the Boys, shout out to that.
Okay.
So we had a guest one time, and we were talking about relationships, and he was like, you know, like, there's like a difference between making out with someone that you just met versus someone that you really care about. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, I never thought about that before, but like, now that I'm like imagining in my head, like, it's just, when you have a connection with someone, it's meaningful. It's not just it's not meaningless. Because when you just go up and hook with someone, it's all in all, it's meaningless.
Like, when it's like a passion, like when it's somebody that's meaningful, it drives you nuts. It's like, yo, that was so cool. That was so cool. But then when it's like somebody that's like, you know, it's like, it's kind of whatever. Yeah. You know? And then it's also like, okay, we did it, you know, now I'm on to the next thing. Right. Like, I don't really want to.
And you know, I was talking to my friend. We don't really talk much anymore. This was like a year and a half ago. And over that summer, he got with so many girls. And we were talking about it at dinner, and he was like saying to me, we were both saying, I was like, what if like you like talk to them? And he's like, you know, I hooked up with one, then I went to the next, never really trying to get to know them. And maybe one of those 30 girls that I hooked up with could have been your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
He was like, yeah.
Definitely. It's a lot. Yeah, dude. It's like really hard. It's also though so hard to date nowadays. Like, I just feel like with social media, parties, it's like
so many people don't even want it.
Yeah, so many people don't even want it, and people, like what you said, they're just so scared to be vulnerable and just be themselves. And it's like, it's just like all these expectations now that men have to live up to and that women have to live up to, and it's like, let's just quit the bullshit and just start from ground one, like what we used to do. Yeah. You know, like, yeah, hookup culture, it's good in a sense where it's like sometimes you need to release urges. I mean, we're all human. Mm-hmm. You know, it's good for that, to release your urges and to like calm down and like, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't lead to any progress at all in terms of your mental health. It kind of doesn't.
Exactly.
You know?
And that compared to being with someone who's right for you.
It's just a drug.
You know,
It's literally a drug. Now that you think it's just a dopamine drug. Yeah.
But then when you're with someone, they can help you. Like, when you just hook up with people, like, you're just in the same place. It's like you're going in a circle. But then when you're with someone that can help you grow, it's like you start here, and then you're slowly
actually start going up. Yeah.
And then even if things don't work out and stuff like that,
you're still up. Yeah, exactly.
You still have all the knowledge that you made with them and everything you learned. So...
Yeah, that's what I was like saying before, like what led to Independent Woman. Like, like I was growing, even though it was like a little weird and stuff, I was still growing. And then it's like when we still left, it's like I'm still up here though.
Right.
Like I'm not going back down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then also hookup culture, it's a lot about ego. It's a lot about like, why didn't she get with me? Or like, why ain't she answering? All right, like, screw this person. I'm going to hit up this person now. And it's like, it's just really toxic, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of hilarious, but it's just toxic. You're like, yeah.
So let's move on a little bit. So I just want to circle back into the rap kind of a little bit. So, I've done a lot of research on like the music industry and the rap industry and stuff like that. But I want to get your opinions on what the state of that is right now. And we already kind of covered it a little bit, but just go into a little more depth.
Hasn't really improved much. A lot of the artists that all these kids listen to, they all just promote the same meaningless shit, the all same bullshit, the demonic agenda. I believe that in the major rap industry, all these mainstream guys that you see, all these big name rappers, right? You watch their music videos, and look for clues of symbolism. A lot of this is just about brainwashing and money and greed and power. And when you listen to the lyricism in the state of this rap game, it's about still, the drugs, rock and roll, just sleeping with people, and actually preaching the devil. Like, just preaching the devil and, like, saying, like, that's cool. Like, you look at the incident that happened in Houston where all those people died, and... you could see on TikTok, they were showing the set. And they were showing the lights and, like, the effects and, like, the fire and everything. And it was just, like, some weird stuff, dude. Weird. And, like, a lot of the Hollywood parties and the Hollywood scene, it's very, very, like, just, just very, just demonic, dude. It's just, like, we don't have to get into that, but it's just really, it's not really changing at all. I mean,
yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's not, like, and all these artists that everybody's preaching about, posting on their story, it's the same topics. I don't hear topics about, we don't even have to talk about politics. We could just talk about, like, just the state of the world and just, like, facts. We could just talk about facts and positivity. We could just leave it on positivity. If we don't want to be objective, we don't want to be political, then just talk about positivity. Because that helps everybody. Yeah. People don't even... rappers, like I said, they're not even talking about positivity.
Right.
It's stupid, dude. Yeah. That's why I kind of started... like, I still rap, but I kind of shy away, and I'm kind of more into singing and stuff now. Mm-hmm. More into, like, alternative and pop.
Yeah, there's a small rapper named Dax. I don't know if you know.
Dax?
Dax.
Dax? I think nah.
So he's an independent artist, whatever. A lot of people say, like, oh, he's cringy, blah, blah, blah. But I personally love his music. And a lot of his music is, like, rapping about positivity and motivation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't see that from these big artists most of the time.
Yep, you don't. You don't. Because it's... the industry just wants to keep selling this formula, and... it's been just brainwashed for so many years that this is the formula that works to make money. Yeah. Talk about this, and when the people are drunk, this sounds good.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's like, we need motivation. It's like, if you can if you have talent, you can make anything sound good, right? And we can make this sound good. Motivation, positive thinking and speaking, stop the division, like, we can make it good.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of being the change that you want to see.
Right. And I've also seen, like, multiple videos. I've seen so many celebrities and so many people in the industry who, like like with that demonic type stuff, like they flat out say it on their Instagram stories and stuff like that, but like nobody even
like they're like, oh, he's like, cool, like it's whatever.
But it's like I saw the other day like a compilation of like at least like 50 different people who are in the music industry and all in Hollywood and stuff that are saying this, and it's like this just goes over our heads.
It goes over our heads because we're brainwashed to think that's cool and that's the part of the norm in the culture. Like, oh, I'm gonna get a record deal and sell my soul away and it's fine, I'm gonna make money.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, okay. And tell me how you feel 10 years from now, your mental health.
Yeah.
And like all the just like, dude, it's just so weird, bro. Yeah. Like the parties, I'm sure you heard about the parties and stuff that goes on there. There's a movie by, with Tom Cruise in it, and it was the same director that shot all these scary movies. But there's a movie that Tom Cruise is in, and it's basically about how he's like this rich he's like a doctor or something, and he's looking for somebody, and his friend ends up inviting him to a party that he's playing the piano at, that he's performing at. And he goes to this party and he sees everybody with these masks on and like these weird, this weird ritual happening. He doesn't know where he's at. And then he realizes he's at a party with all the elites in the world. And like, the director wanted to include so much stuff in that movie. There was even stuff that the director wanted that Warner Bros. Or whatever, like the movie studio, did not let him do. Mm-hmm. And then when he published this movie, the man died a week later. And it's like, when you think about everything, dude, and you start it's just so weird, bro. It's just so weird. Like, our biggest icons in the world, they have a new Elvis movie that just came out. You know, that talks a lot about just the screwed up stuff. The whole Michael Jackson thing. The list goes on and on and on. Yeah. You know, the biggest guy that you see up there, let's say it's Drake, or let's say it's just some big artist. Put any name to it. I don't want to list a specific name because I don't want to target a specific person if I don't have facts. But any big artist that you see up there, probably, you got to realize that besides that music video, their life behind the door is way different, probably. It's way different, and you got to keep that in mind. Like, what they're doing, what they're marketing, or however the heck they got into that position, you don't know how they even got there. Yeah. You know, and it's just so sad. Like, that's why I always, a big artist of mine that I always liked was Mac Miller. You know, he was like a big inspiration for me. And when you listen to his earlier work before he was signed, it was so positive, so much more uplifting, kind of. Like, he was just happier. But then once he got signed, as his later and later albums progressed, it just started taking this dark path. And then when he was made his last album that he was alive for, he predicts his own death in the album. And he kind of tells his audience that he's going to kind of go. And then when you watch the videos and stuff, it just makes you think about what this man was probably going through and how he probably regretted selling his soul, and it was too late, he realized. Yeah. And then his last album that came out, it almost sounds as if he was already in heaven and he's just kind of rejoicing his audience that he's fine and he's going to be all right. And then, you know, yeah, man, it's just, that's why I feel like you can't blow up too big. You don't want to be like a Michael Jackson. Yeah. You don't want to be, you know, a Tom Cruise. Like, all that fame and pressure, dude, it's like, it's going to change who you are.
Yeah. And there's so many, I've seen so many things where, like, there's a lot of symbolism in the music videos that, like, it's like promoting the program and stuff like that. Yeah. But there's also I've seen other people where they actually secretly, like, put the symbolism there, like, hey, like, I'm suffering, I'm, like, not chill with this anymore, like, yeah, it's like a little cry for help. It's like a call for help.
Nobody answers.
Nobody answers, bro.
Nobody notices. Yeah, nobody notices until they're dead, and then they're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. Like X, like yeah, I like him. I used to listen to him promoting, like, talking about all the different spirituality type stuff, and then, like, your third eye, stuff like that, and also, like, talking about the rap industry, and he's literally saying that, like, I don't want to say too much because I don't know who I'm gonna upset or blah blah blah. Soon he's dead.
Yep, and yeah, he's dead, and you know, it's just so sad. It's so sad, especially, like, they're calling for help. We don't notice. We don't know. We just think he's cool and he's X, and then he dies, and then we're like, oh my God, rest in peace, immediately we first go on the comment section and go, rest in peace, rest in peace. But we didn't do nothing when he was alive. We were just following the brainwash agenda of the life of an artist, where you praise them, they tell you their problems, we ignore them, and we just tell them you're cool, then they die, and then we go, oh wow, he was actually like sad and shit. Yeah, dude, like, it's just so sad, man. It's just ridiculous, dude. And X was a real one.
Yeah.
That man was real. Juice WRLD 2 was another one. Juice WRLD was like crying for help. Ever since his first song that was like a hit, he was crying for help. Yeah. And people knew he needed help, but he was just surrounded by such bad people that were like, you know, just helping with his problems, like helping him with his drug addiction. They have an HBO documentary on him. I recommend you watch. It's really good, but it was just so sad. Like, he was so talented, but the people he was around were kind of reinforcing that drug addiction. Yeah.
And I mean, that I think everyone can relate to that, just being around toxic people, how that affects your life and doesn't allow you to reach where you could be. Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, if you're this talented person who's passionate about all these things, but all of your friends are like, oh, come out with me, let's go do this, let's go hook up with this person, let's go do this, let's go drink, blah, blah, blah. Then if you get sucked into that, like, you're screwed.
You're taking time away. Yeah. You're taking time away from, like, your passion.
And most people, like, some people realize it and, like, they're out there and they're like, yeah, I probably should be.
Like, I have more time. Yeah, I should probably be doing this, but I have more time.
But some people are just like, they don't even care anymore. They're just like, alright, whatever.
Yeah, dude. Like, they're just like, I'm gonna just do this job, whatever, 9 to 5. This is what life's about.
Yeah, whatever.
It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah.
The whole just go to school, get a job like that, get married, have kids, retire at 65, then spend my money to go on vacation once I can't do anything and I'm fucking old. Then I can live my life. Then I can be happy. I have to work for 40 years of my life. Right. I'm young and I have this just vitality.
For 20 years of freaking...
I have to slave my life away and then I can enjoy my life. I mean, I think, like, you see so many... Like, my grandfather passed away a few years ago. He was a pretty positive guy. You know, I could have a nice conversation with him even though I was young. And when I would see him, like, he's in a good mood and stuff. But I've noticed that there's so many old people that are really angry all the time, really upset all the time, and I think to myself, like, these people that are really old and they're bitter, I try to think, like, it's probably because they lived their whole life doing something they didn't want to do. Like, they got this job not because they wanted to do, not because they wanted it, but because someone pressured them to do it, and then they just lived the quote-unquote normal life, but that's not what they deep down wanted to do. So once they reach this age and they're older, they're just mad all the time because it's like, shit, man. Like, I can't... Like, I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, dude, that's why I feel like you gotta just chase your dreams while you can. And, like, you need to have your 9 to 5 to just put food on the table, you know, to put a shelter over your head. But you gotta find time in the day to still make it happen for your dream, your actual dream. Like, whether it's just 2 hours a day or 1 hour a day or whatever, 30 minutes a day. You need to do it every single day. Yeah. You know, that's the only way. That's the only way. Because we're only going to get older, and you're only going to start getting wrinkles on your face soon, and we're only going to start slowing down. You know, so it's like, why wait? Right. You know?
And, you know, procrastination it's a bitch. I mean, I suffer from it all the time. Like, it took me a while to start this podcast. Like, I'm just, like, sitting in my head, like, oh, when am I going to
pondering and freaking pondering, yeah.
And then eventually it's just like, you know, you just got to do it.
That was me with Independent Woman, yeah. Took me a long time to make that song. I'm reading this really good book. It's about, like, how to make good habits. It's by this author. But some knowledge I could share about procrastination is when it comes to your dream, you can't set goals. You can't, like, set goals like, oh, I have a goal, I'm just going to do this week. You can't do that because a goal is an emotional attachment. A goal is like, I'm going to do this, but then what happens when you don't do that is then you get sad. And then you fall down the loophole and you said, I could have did this. I should have did this. You got to focus more on, like, your system first. Before you do a goal, for example, your goal is to win it. Let's say your goal is to win a basketball game, right? If you lose that game, you're going to be extremely pissed. Instead, if you focused on your system, practicing, recruiting players, maybe dieting and exercising, right? If you just focus on that instead, your system, not only will you win one game, your system will allow you to win championships. Because you're continuously training, practicing, exercising, doing this and that. You're not just thinking my goal is to win the game. No. You got to focus on the system. And a lot of it, too, is your identity. Like, you got to stop. Like, let's say you want to make a podcast, right? I want to be a podcaster. Brad is not a podcaster. Brad is a podcaster. Let's say you're trying to quit smoking, right? Somebody says, here's a cigarette. Oh, no thank you, I'm trying to quit. And then they ask the other person, you want a cigarette? And the person says, no, I'm not a smoker. Both of those people, though, were ex-cigarette people, right? The person who says, I'm trying to quit, still identifies themselves as a cigarette smoker. But the person that says, I'm not a smoker, their past life, they were a smoker. But in the present time, they're not associated with that anymore. Right. And that makes a really big difference, like I realized, on, like, drive and procrastination. Yeah. Procrastination is just, you're still trying to prove to yourself that you could do it. Mm. That's what procrastination is. I'm trying to prove. Oh, I think I should get up and do this. Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to prove. Just stop trying to prove it. I am this, and I will do this, and that will help you get more motivation.
They're like that's affirmations and stuff like that, because you're affirming that you are that, and that you're done with that, or you're just non-existent with that anymore. Yeah, I actually, when I first started getting into self-improvement and stuff like that, I literally woke up. I literally wrote down on a piece of paper, I am great. I am amazing. I am positive. Blah blah blah, all this stuff like that, and I would wake up. The second I wake up, I'd walk into my bathroom. I look myself in the mirror in the eyes, and I'd say each of the words 5-10 times. I am positive. I'm a great person. Blah blah blah, and that's when my life wasn't that great. So doing that, it actually helps. You try. People you're trying to be happy so much of the time. You're trying to be content. You write that stuff down, and you look at yourself in the mirror every single day when you wake up. And you say to yourself, I am happy. I'm a good person. I'm a great person, blah, blah, blah. And eventually you just become it.
Yeah, you are what you preach. You are what you say you are.
And it's like, it's the same thing with, if you tell yourself, I don't know if I can do this, I'll never be able to do this. You're right. You're not going to be able to do it.
You're not going to do it.
People underestimate how powerful your belief system is. Your belief system is everything. What you believe is what creates the world around you.
Yep.
And people don't realize it. People tell me all the time. People are like, no, I don't think I'm good enough, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. All this shit like that. And
they're trying to prove and prove and prove.
But the only person you should really try to be proving it to is yourself. You don't need other people to believe
because you keep comparing yourself. If you say I'm not good enough, you're comparing to society. Stop comparing to society, compare to yourself.
Right. Because, you're trying to be like someone else, but you're different than them. You're not them.
Yeah, they have a different story than you.
You can try to be someone else all you want, but you can't. You're you. You're stuck with you, so why not try to make the best you? Why try to be somebody else?
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true.
Yeah. So, I also wanted to... So, that kind of goes along with... feeling lost. I've spent a lot of time in my life just feeling lost in life. What do I want to do? What am I going to do? And, of course, I'm 18, and I started feeling this when I was 16, 15, and I'm like, I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life. What am I passionate about? And, everyone always tells me, it's fine, you don't have to have it all figured out by 18, and that is true. But at the same time, I'm still, just because you say that, I'm still thinking to myself, what do I want to do? What I want to do. Yeah,
it's definitely good to start thinking about it now. When I was 18, it's I kind of had the idea there, but I didn't have the plan there. So I feel at your age, start thinking about just the idea, but you don't have to get too sucked into the exact plan yet and the road. That comes different with everybody, Like, and it's normal. You're going to be changing ideas. You know, like, when I was 18, I first came in as, like, a nursing major at Brookdale. I went to Brookdale, and I was first... That's a community college, if anybody doesn't know. But I first came in as a nursing major because my mom was telling me about it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, I guess. And then, dude, like, a month later, I changed it to, like, a business degree. I'm like, what am I doing? You know, so, like, it's normal to change. Because your brain is still getting older, you know. It's still maturing. It's maturing, you know. And, you know, you'll know what you want to do, I would say, within the next 2 to 3 years. But it's important now to just, like, keep learning about yourself and, like, get that general idea of, like, start thinking, like, do I see myself as this or that or that? And just, if you don't, kind of cross it out and just keep, you know, just keep thinking.
And I think another part of, like, the negative aspect of some of our culture here is, like, analyzing yourself isn't promoted. Like, you need to take time to yourself to analyze yourself and figure out what you truly want, what you don't want, what you like in someone, what you don't like in someone, so that you're not just going around and just doing whatever and wasting your time.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, I was an introvert like most of my life, and then I worked to make myself an extrovert as well, because I think for everyone, I think there's a lot of people that are more dominant in being extroverted and with people, and there's more people who are more comfortable alone. But I think no matter which one you're dominant, I think it's important to develop yourself so that you're able to do both. Because, you know,
you have to.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you know, there's some people that make it if they're just alone 24/7 and they just do their thing. But I think most of the time you need some sort of networking. You need some people to help you. And then vice versa. People that don't like being alone at all, spend a little bit of time alone here and there just to get to know yourself. Because when you're out all the time with people 24/7, you can't possibly take any time to yourself to sit down and be like, this is my life. Like, what do I want to do?
Yeah, that was me at like 21, you know, just going out a lot and just like hanging out with friends and stuff. And then when I was going out a lot, I was like, yo, who am I really though?
Yeah.
You know, who am I like? Because when you go out there, you're going to be taking away a part of yourself, you know, to fit in. So it's like, excuse me. Just like, who am I? You know? And everybody got to go out. You need sunlight. You can't stay inside all day. You'll drive yourself crazy, dude. Yeah. You'll actually, if you stay inside all day, not communicating with people, I guarantee you're going to start getting anxiety.
Yeah.
Because that little hamster in your head is going to be running so freaking much that then you're going to start going, well, what about this and what about that? Yeah. And you'll start colluding and thinking about things. You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah. You know, I found that one thing that's always helped me is, I mean, of course, I feel better on a sunny day, but no matter what the weather is, go outside and just go for a walk. Like, you sitting in your room, like, so much of the time and just thinking and thinking.
Yeah.
You feel like you can't escape, but the second you walk outside, you get that fresh air. It's just...
you realize it doesn't matter.
And you can clear your head and think about nothing, or the things that you were thinking about in your room, you can think about, but in a more logical way. And you're like, all right, this is like, I can do this and this. But then when you're in your room, you're just like, oh, this and that, and it's just so much more.
It's so unhealthy, yeah. Yeah, it's so unhealthy, and you also forget to breathe. But when you're outside walking, like, you're going to be breathing more. You know, your heart rate's going to probably chill out more when you're in your room.
Yeah, and I've always found whenever I'm in a bad mood, just sitting at home, when I walk outside, it changes everything. Like, it seems like such a simple thing that it's like, whatever, I don't need to do that, but it really changes everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does. I used to do that too, going out, you know, going for walks and really just clearing the mind, you know, and focusing on that. Like, it really helps, you know, as opposed to just sitting in your room and looking at the ceiling and thinking about, like, your whole timeline and stuff, and, like, trying to pinpoint and trying to, like, understand like this. And that's what people got to realize too, like, depression, anxiety, you know, it's like this whole table. You don't get to over there and find the answer in one day. It takes years and years of understanding and just living life and just being yourself, and then you start to unlock pieces of the puzzle where you're like, oh shit, that kind of goes with that, and like, you start to realize where your personality comes from.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I've done like a lot of analyzing of myself just because I think it's a healthy thing to do, but I think it's important also to look back at your childhood and to figure out whether you feel a certain way. Like if you're anxious most of the time, okay, you think to yourself, do I think it came from a certain experience when I was younger or something my parents used to tell me? And most of the time you're probably going to find an answer there.
Yeah.
Because when you're young, like that's the programming age. When your parents tell you certain things, when you see certain things, you're taking everything in and your brain is creating a program for that. And that's just locked in. And then most people don't even realize that they have these limiting beliefs and stuff that stem from their childhood and that are brought with them into adulthood. And the first step to that, of course, is realizing what happened and realizing why you feel that way, and then you can work to change it. But a lot of people, I don't think, like they feel a certain way, but they don't try to do any analyzing and research where they never really figure out why they feel that way, and then they're just stuck with it.
Yeah.
But once you realize why you feel that way, there's a chance that you can change it. I mean, there's always, whatever you believe in life, whatever happens, there's always ways to change things. There's always ways to change the way you think. There's...
Yeah, there is.
Even through the most, like, traumatic
positive
events.
Reinforcement, yeah, there is. Mental, conditioning, yeah. It's hard, but, like...
Oh, it's difficult, but it's possible.
Yeah. I feel like, though, sometimes you can't change... I've never stuck to a plan of, like, conditioning to change feelings. Thoughts is different, but, like... feelings is hard. I don't know if that's possible, but yeah, I mean, I could relate because there was times where I would try to fight a thought and try to shut it down. Not really a harmful thought, just a thought that could be a part of my identity. And I just would try to shut it down. Sometimes I would feel like when I would shut it down, I'm actually taking a piece of you, out of me. Yeah, like out of me. But I think the most important thing is accepting your thought. And then just saying, okay, do I want to live my life with you? Or you got to first accept it. Like with any type of trauma or depression, you have to accept that person.
Yeah.
Like, I always use imaging a lot when I'm trying to convey ideas, but it's like, that depressed thing, you have to accept that thing first before you heal from it. Because you can't run away from it. It only kills you more.
Exactly.
Only kills you more, dude. And once you accept it, then you can be like, all right, you're not a part of my life anymore, but like, I see you now, and I listen to you, but I'm just gonna do me now.
Yeah. You gotta realize it's there. And also, I mean, sometimes there's some thoughts that you have that aren't really you. That when you're locked in your room all day and then something's coming. Yeah, it's not even you. It's just the mind wandering and you're stuck in there, so it's just coming, and then you start to think like, oh, what if this negative thought that I'm thinking is true about me? What if it isn't? And sometimes it is. But sometimes it's not, and it's just some random shit going through your head, and you just get stuck in that and go down the rabbit hole. Yeah. So, again, go outside and walk. Yeah. Or just sit outside, just outside anything. Because that's our nature. That's where we were created. We were meant to be outside most of the time. But we're all inside most of the time.
Yeah, and it's okay, too. Don't even worry about your problems. Like, just live life. Like, my problems, too, it's like, I'm at the point now in my age where I'm like, what's good about being single is, like, you get to grow a lot mentally. Yeah. I'm at the point where it's like, now I'm just doing me and I'm just living life, and I just don't really care. And if I have a feeling, I have a feeling. And if I choose to act upon it, then I choose to act upon it. But if I don't, then I don't, and that's fine. Nothing matters but yourself. Like, nobody's opinion, unless it's constructive criticism. But it's like, no matter what they judge you or think about you, that shit don't matter. Nothing it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because if you listen to what they say, you will never get this high. In society, naturally, people get jealous. And a common thing is, people will sometimes tell you, like, oh, you can't do that. You can't do your podcast. Because they're jealous of you. That you're actually making moves. People get jealous of that. Because they're sitting down playing Xbox all day or whatever. So they try to tell you, you can't do this, dude. What are you doing? You're crazy going out and going to Florida or whatever, or going to a different state, you know, you're crazy for doing this, and it's like, bro, you're just jealous, dude. Like, you're just hating, you know?
Yeah.
If you were a real one, you've been like, bro, that's real of you doing that, you know, and like I wish you luck, I'm proud of you, bro, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, those are the real ones to the fake ones.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and I mean...
And friend... Yeah, dude, and just, like, a lot of things, too, we gotta talk about, too, is, like, artificial friendships. People, this day and age with social media and the texting and the calling, we can't distinguish what's a real friendship, what's a genuine thing, and what's a fake thing. And I want to give some clarification on that. If you have a podcast, right, your real friends should be promoting your podcast on Instagram or on whatever without you asking for it. Those are your real friends. If you have to ask somebody, hey, promote my stuff, and then they post it, they're not your real friend. Because why did I have to ask you to do it? If you saw it, you should do it automatically. You know, like, and if you call somebody and they don't call you back, dude, they'll text you instead, like, yo, what's up? That's just disrespectful. You know, like, I want to call you and I want to talk to you. If you don't call me back, tell me you're not going to call me back. Or don't leave me hanging. Like, if you tell a girl, this is with a lot of women, yo. Oh, my God. It's like, if I text a woman, or if I call a woman and I tell her, hey, call me back, and you don't call me back, that's just like, okay. You know? People got to give you the same amount of respect you give them. Like, calling somebody is like, you know, that means you want to talk to them. That's like, you know, you mess with them. You like them, you know? And it's like, people don't do that nowadays on social media. It's very fake, dude. And
people are so, like, used to just playing and toying with people, like, whatever, like maybe you call that girl and she's secretly talking to like 2-3 other people, and then she's like, he doesn't matter, blah blah blah. And it's like at least give they have to give you the respect of like, alright, I'm talking to other people, whatever, I don't want this to be serious or whatever, or I'm not gonna call you back, whatever, like you just said. And so many people, they don't give you that, and it's just that's not even like a. That's just like a basic like human respect.
It's basic respect, like wasting my time.
Yeah.
You know, and emotionally, and when you do that, you're ruining it for every other good person now that you want to date. Because it's like, now when you meet that next woman that you want to talk to, you may associate her with that other girl. And she's just gonna do the same shit like that other person did to me. I mean, yeah, that's the whole big thing with, you know, like, everyone, there's a huge thing in society. I mean, it's like thinking like, all girls are the same. All guys are the same. That's that thing. Yeah.
And it's this huge, just toxic thing where it's like,
it's a fallacy.
Just because you've heard this from someone else, or because you've had one experience with someone who's like this, that doesn't mean everyone's like that. Like, I personally had an experience with like one person, and I was like, like, they're kind of like blah blah blah, and then I started to think like, like, most girls are like this, blah blah blah. And then I started meeting other girls, and then I realized, I was like, yeah, they're actually not all the same.
They're not.
And there's some people that I've really connected with and stuff like that.
Yep, they're not. A problem, though, too, is also the location of where you grow up. A lot of people here, you already know, a lot of people out here, bro, they all act with these masks on, and these all act the same. Everybody acts the same out here. But then as you go to a different state, you go to different locations, you're going to start to see different colors. And, like, realizing realness from fakeness. And, yeah, you know, we're not all the same. And part to blame, there's hatred on both sides that we have to accept. That we both made mistakes. And once we clear those mistakes, people will just be so much more real with... Like, I would appreciate a world where instead of toying with me, just tell me from the get, yeah, like, who cares about hurting my feelings? Just be like, I'm not into you like that. Instead of, like, I'm feeling him on this day, but I'm not feeling him on this day. It's like, just keep it real, and then, all right, bet. We'll move on to the next one.
Right.
Like,
and then there's some people that are cool with that, like, just having multiple people, whatever, but, like, you gotta communicate that.
Yeah, you gotta communicate, yeah.
Because without communication, everything's messed up.
Yeah, communication's everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can get into our last topic.
Okay.
It's one that's a little explicit, guys, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Pron.
Yeah, so it's kind of like with social media. You know, the horrible thing is we see all these explicit images on social media now, and a big drug that's not talked about a lot is Pron, you know, and a lot of people suffer from it from like age 11 to 12. Like I got into it at like 11 or 12, and I was suffering for like 10 to 11 years. I recently put out a freestyle on my page. I was 4 weeks clean now that I haven't watched it at all. Like I never done that before, you know. And it's like Pron is so addicting, and we have all these videos that it's the number one search thing on the internet.
Yeah.
The number one search thing. It's literally a drug. You watch this thing and you see everything of your fantasies and your imagination. And when you watch these videos, right, you get this big adrenaline rush. And then when you finish watching, dude, you can literally feel your brain is so foggy and so, like, sucked out. It literally, like, sucks dopamine out of you so bad. And then it becomes this drug because then it's like, oh, I saw this category. Let's check out this category tomorrow. You know, and people get addicted to this, dude, and it ruins marriages. It gives you depression, anxiety. It makes your traumatic experience even worse. Like, it actually, like, takes you to here and it takes you to here, dude. And it's not talked about at all in school. I don't remember learning about this at all in health class. Like, they didn't talk about Pron and, like, they didn't, like, show us an image and then say, all right, pause this image. How do all of you feel right now, this, that, and then explain the whole dopamine thing.
Right.
It's just horrible, man.
It goes along with the mental health thing and, like, addiction and stuff like that. It's just not talked about. And it just makes me think, like, the system and stuff, like, they don't care. I mean, obviously they want people to be addicted to this stuff because it makes them more money.
Yeah, it makes them more money. Millions and millions of views, dude. You look at these statistics, this data on these videos, you look at the views and it's so crazy, and it's so like sex, like the amount of trafficking that goes into the, like, their stories of actors that, you know, had to go through just insane stuff. The scenes that we're seeing, people doing video cameras on these people, and the title of the video is like, you know, doing it against her will.
Yeah, like demeaning stuff.
Just demeaning stuff. And it's brainwashing people into creating these unrealistic expectations. Like, that's not reality.
Exactly.
I wish that it was just banned. I don't even think that it should be legal. Like, I feel like, or it should be like a thing where somehow they have to restrict the access to where it's like you're 21 and over. Because it's literally, I feel like it's literally a drug.
Yeah.
And it's horrible that an 11-year-old could get hooked to it.
Exactly.
Like, there's people that stay in their house all day, dude, and that's all they do.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally a thing, and, like, I myself, like, I remember, dude, I was spending, like, an hour, sometimes 2 hours a day on it. Just browsing through 100 videos. 100 videos. Looking for a specific thing that was triggering a certain stimuli in my brain. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. It's just horrible, yo, and I'm just glad, like, that's definitely gonna be like a topic I'm gonna talk about in one of my next songs, you know. But I'm just glad that, like, I don't feel that urge anymore, you know. I don't feel it, you know, and I just feel so good. I feel clean, a little bit more clean in my head.
Yeah, and you know, I think something that goes along with that is like brain fog.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, what? Like after you can't think straight.
Yeah. And then you get this instant shame and guilt.
Right.
After you watch it, after you engage in it, and you're like, I wish I didn't do this.
But then the next day you'll go back and do it again.
But then you go back and do it again. Because it's literally, it's literally a drug. You just go back and then you do it again and you fall down the rabbit hole. And I would always tell myself, I'm going to quit. And then 2 weeks will go by. And then I say, all right, I deserve to watch it. I did it for 2 weeks. Then I watch it. Boom, boom, boom. But when I did, like, that commitment on my Instagram, dude, I don't know what it was, but it created this, like, social pressure now. Right. That all the eyes are on me. And I got to prove it to myself that I could do this because my actual fans, those people that I am following, they're counting on me. And, like, I had people messaging me that were going through the same thing.
Right.
And, like, that were like, yo, like, I've been suffering too, man. Like, I watch it. Like, you know, they would tell me their frequency, and I'll be like, I can completely relate. I'm like, I try to give them advice, but, you know, I feel like when you come clean and post something public, there's something about when the world knows about things, it actually forces you not to do it anymore.
Right.
And it forced me not to watch it anymore.
Yeah. That's like a type of like good social pressure.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it's getting you to quit that negative habit.
Yeah, because I felt like if I would watch it, I'm gonna be the biggest hypocrite in the world. All my words meant nothing.
Right. And then you like that tells so much about you. Like you want to be an authentic person.
Yeah.
So. And the fact that like the second people start going through puberty, that like they have those like little urges, and then they find that,
and then they find
like that's like the heaven for you.
A picture is 1,000 words, but a video is like 1,000,000 words.
Yeah.
Like it started out as magazines, like in our parents', day and age, and then now we have videos. Like now, there's people that and everything's going VR, virtual reality. I'm sure you're going to see people soon that are literally going to be just dating like robots, like virtual reality girlfriends, where you create what you want them to look like, and like you put on these goggles, and like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's going to get like that.
And it just like it fuels your brain with so much dopamine, it like overloads you, and then it's like your body and then I think your body is just like, what's the point of going in real life and trying to meet a girl?
What's the point?
It's not even going to compare it to this.
Yeah.
What's even the point? And then you have all these guys who, like, they say they're fine with that, but, like, they're fucking lonely as shit.
Yeah, it makes you... And then it also drains away your whole motivation, and, like, it makes you want to do nothing the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like, so I myself, right... I don't even know if I could, but there's certain, let's just say I've done a couple of different drugs where like I did a drug and it just wasn't good for me. It psychologically with my brain, like it made me just want to do nothing the whole day. The whole rest of the day I didn't want to do nothing. And that was like with Pron, like watch it, and like after you do it, you're like just like you went from like I'm gonna go make the podcast to now I'm gonna go to sleep and take a nap and watch TV.
But even at the same time, it's like you don't even want to do that. You don't even want to just watch TV and do that. Like you feel like shit doing that, but you don't feel like you can do anything else.
Then you feel like your energy is so drained and depleted. Like, you don't even want to exercise anymore. That's the problem with it. Like like what you said, it gives you brain fog. All your motivation, dude, just goes out the window. Yeah. Like that's why I feel like Team NoFaB is pretty good, and I feel like everything is good on a frequency scale, like once a week, twice a week. Whatever your body is, as long as you could get the stuff done that you need to, that's what's fine.
Yeah. I did the NoFaB thing. I did it for over a year.
Really?
At a time, yeah. And during that, I want to say during that time is probably like the most improvement I've gained in my life in like a certain time span.
NoFaB for a year?
Yeah. It was a little over a year, probably like a year.
Oh my god, I don't know how. I got props. That's crazy.
Anytime I tell someone that, they're like, how do you do that? How do you do that? But I'll tell you this, when I first started doing it.
But did you have like interactions?
What do you mean?
Like
with girls?
With girls, yeah.
Not really. I kind of kept away from it a little bit. But also it was like at the beginning of high school. So at the same time I didn't really have any game anyway, so I couldn't really get girls. But it still helped me.
I bet you got way more better game though when you were on NoFaB.
Yeah.
You were probably like, how you doing?
But yeah, no, I mean, like what they say about, I mean, who knows if it's a placebo and stuff or not, but I felt so much more confident. I felt so much more comfortable in my own skin because I wasn't going home and I wasn't doing this and wasting my energy and wasting my time. And, it's just, I would go, so after I would, like I said, it changed my life from someone who was like kind of addicted to it to not doing it all now. I started to see these benefits in my life, and I'd go to my friends and I'd be like, because I know they all did it. I'm like, guys, you got to try this out.
Yeah, this try is, like, to take really a break.
Helping me. You know what they said to me? They're like, you're crazy, bro. I'm never doing that. You're an idiot. You're stupid. Blah blah blah. And they would always tell me that, but I didn't give up on myself. I kept going. Yeah,
you're like, they're bugging to say I lost.
And then it got me to that great place. And it gave me the opportunity to gain that improvement in my life and build a better mindset and everything. And then eventually, 5-6 months down the line, maybe it was a year later, like 2 or 3 of my friends, like, they actually started doing it. After they were making fun of me for it, they're now doing it. And they're like, yeah, this is actually helping me a little bit. So, you know, it's, I mean, for something like that, for guys, I recommend, even if, you know, you want to do it in moderation, just try it and see
Just try it, yeah. Just try it. Even if it's like a week or 2 weeks, you're going to notice you have so much motivation and
especially if you're someone who does it all the time.
Yeah, and you'll have like just power and more strength.
Yeah.
Because it's like all that energy down there just goes into your muscles and goes into your body and your brain.
Right.
Yeah, because like that chemical that we have, that was, you know, the reason why we're like every single day, that was mainly, you know, back then in human evolution, cavemen, you know, there was only so little population that they recreate. So it's like every day, I'm sure they were doing that. But it's like now we're at a day and point where it's like, you can't be doing, like, it's just, you know.
And when you, like, I feel like I have so much more masculine energy and just so much more energy in general, and I feel like more myself. And you can use that, instead of using that energy for that, you can
like this.
This. You use it for creative outlets. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, some people don't even believe that that's possible. They're just like, it's whatever, blah blah blah. But again, you know, I always encourage people to just be open minded and just try something. If you truly think it doesn't do anything for you after you tried it, then, you know, do your thing. But you gotta try it. It's something you just gotta try.
You got to 100%, 100%. And the biggest thing too is like you have to, if you do suffer from it, it's like when you're watching Pron, I noticed, leave the phone out of the bathroom. Do not take the phone with you to the bathroom. You know, like, you take the phone to the bathroom. This isn't a statistic. This isn't backed by data. This is just like a mental note, but you're going to be more tempted, like 50% more tempted.
Yeah.
So like that urge of, I was not going to do it. Let's say 0 to 1. 1 is you do it 0. I was not going to do it, but you bring the phone into the bathroom. Now you're at 50%. You know, it's like, you're playing. Why are you tempting it? Why are you playing with the devil? You're playing with the devil at that point.
Right.
You know.
And then another thing is like being on Instagram, just like scrolling through like pictures of girls and stuff like that. That's a big no-no.
Yeah. You gotta. Yeah. That was one thing too.
Because, you know, you look at that, and then it leads to this, and then that.
Then you want to start.
And then after you're just like, shit, man.
Yep.
And then you go and do it the next day again.
Do it the next day.
It's a cycle again.
It's an endless cycle. It's like Pron comes in different ways. It's not just the videos. Now it's TikTok, Instagram. And you gotta know how to filter through that and just...
Yeah, and it's so important to, you know, realize what you're giving your energy to and what you're spending your time doing. And then when you change those outlets, when you change what you do, you'll see how your life changes.
Yeah.
You'll see how your life changes.
Yeah, literally.
So, I think we'll end the podcast here.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on, Rudy. Appreciate you.
I'm gonna spit a little bit of some logic real quick. Give you guys some bars off the top.
You need a beat or no? You good?
You give me a beat. Yeah, if you want to beatbox, you can beatbox.
Oh, I can't really beatbox.
Oh, man. I'll do an acapella. I will do an acapella. Yeah. Okay. Depression in this world is all we really see. You gotta look at yourself in the mirror, look at your dreams, tell yourself that you could do that, indeed. If you're kinda broke and you need a job, look at Indeed. Yes, I'm scrolling through these pages and I'm seeing on this Pron. But we gotta realize that's not right, that is wrong. Messing with your brain psychologically, messing with your dopamine. Now you better think about the girl that you met in that class called history. Start developing these fantasies of anything that you want to do to her. But then you need to realize that's not realistic. Life is full of motivation. Life is full of dreams that you need to achieve. Life is full of things that you need to see. You need to tell yourself every day that you could do it, like the Nike swoosh sign. We living in a world where we must be divine. Can't suffer from the consequences of the devil. He's gonna try to hunt you down. He's gonna try to get you to do the drugs that mess with your dopamine. It's driving me so crazy. I'm feeling like I'm kind of floating, like it was a drug called lean. We sitting at the table and we did this podcast with my boy Brad. If you is a bad shawty, You better I'm fine. I don't know. That was kind of trash.
No, I thought that was good.
Yeah, that was like the worst. Hey, I try to give you some content. I don't know.
But hey, that positive energy, bro.
Yeah, I try to do. Yeah.
Like you can't listen to that and be like, oh, that's horrible. Like
Yeah.
you can't look at somebody who's preaching some positive stuff like that and like, oh, that guy's stupid.
Let me do one more time.
Go ahead.
Let's 15 more seconds. Yo. I gotta tell myself that I'ma do it, so I need that motivation. Gotta do it every day, you gotta stay with that dedication. People try to hate on you, but what they contemplating? They be looking at their own dreams and they hating. I be seeing all the hate in the world with the discriminating, but we just need to unite and stand together. We're all humans at the end of the day. Gotta go for your dreams, cause that will be the best job that you will be getting paid. Yeah, gotta ignore the lay, cause sometimes you just gotta focus on your dreams. That's how you could get so rich that maybe you could buy Chick-fil-A, looking at the logo on the store. Yeah, I'm trying to make my own brand. I'm not trying to follow the crowd. I do not like the clout surf. Everybody on TikTok, they doing all these trends. But why you acting fake? Why you acting like you playing pretend? Gotta see yourself in the mirror. Gotta see your self-identity. If you're going through a crisis, then lay off the pipe. And think about your world. Think about God. Think about your real type. Think about the type of dream that you want to see. Gotta realize your real reality. You don't need no materialism. That's something that Instagram always is pushing. That you gotta buy the nice shopping bag or the nice shoes. Well, guess what? When you buy the nice shoes, then you're gonna live a life that eventually you're gonna lose, cause you're gonna feel empty inside. You're gonna feel like your identity just suffered and now it wants to let out and cry. But when it cries, it's gonna be too late. You're gonna be 65, retired on a boat, walking so damn slow, and meeting all these young people that you don't even know, and they gonna look at you and be like, why you acting so bitter? And you acting bitter cause you never saw your dreams for what it is. You were always chasing the capitalism mindset of this American dream that we see, but it really is a fallacy if you don't know yet. Rudy rhymes, he be always coming clever. I don't need no dimes. You just gotta realize that beauty comes from the inside, not the outside. Beauty standards, they be going crazy, telling people that you gotta put on the makeup with the lipstick. I think that's kind of fucked up when you really think of it. We don't need that. Wear whatever you want, be whoever you are. Just rap and just preach whatever you want, and then you're gonna see a lifestyle that is so different. Yeah, Rudy rhymes, you gotta go and get it. That's facts. Never gonna tell a lie. If you a hater and you acting kind of fake, you're acting abstract. Matter of fact, you're so damn old, leave your ass in the past. Call that an artifact.
Hey, that was fun.
Thank you.
Alright, so thanks again, Rudy, for coming on. Go
Mighty
check
Brad.
it out. Go, what platforms you on?
Type in Rudy Rhymes, Spotify, Instagram, title, everything. Rudy and then RHYMES. So yeah, Rudy Rhymes on everything.
Alright, we'll check you guys in the next one.
Be good.
Peace.